And what happens when we have a real problem? Look out the window and look out the window in other countries. We used to be number one. We used to be the leaders of fixing problems, and now we're behind. So now it's time to recognize that it's time for change. And the only way to get therapy for me, not to say it's physical action, but it's some kind of action. Not waiting for somebody to give you something, but actually doing something, not complaining about it, fixing it. Wow. No, and all this, and us being sad and depressed. You know what I've noticed in quarantine? Damn near everyone that comes through my crib in quarantine with me, at some point in time, has to take pills for depression. Why is the whole world depressed? You know why? Because they're not living their dreams. And this is the Freedom Network, and this show is about freedom. And I'm sick of the way they've been portraying us and the way they've been manipulating our images and just making money off like contrived dysfunction. I'm just sick of it. So this is my answer to it.
Well, I see, bringing it back to you and your family and how you guys are riding through this. Last time we talked, you had gone through something very traumatic.
Yeah.
With wifey, right? You want to elaborate a little bit?
We had a pregnancy going wrong. Right. Deep into it. So, we spoke, we talked it out. She talked with you. We went to Hawaii.
Right.
She picked up a nice car. She got herself strong for 3 months. And then right before COVID, we did the pregnancy thing again. What's it called? IVF. And it was crazy because we didn't know COVID was coming.
Right.
And of course, it was only 3 months, and she had apprehensions in that moment, which she should. It's natural.
Right.
But we pushed through it, and had we not have handled that then, for these months, she would have been miserable and depressed because we wouldn't have been able to move forward because things were shut down because of COVID.
Yeah.
But instead, she was able to, successfully get pregnant. She's about 5.5 months in now. She's happy. We probably had one situation that's really bothered me for the whole 4 months, and that was probably this morning.
Right.
And we're having a great time.
You don't really hear too much about that experience of the female that is expecting during this whole period, during this whole time. Depending where you are in life, I'm sure that experience varies, but kind of raising this baby within her womb right now while all this COVID stuff is going on, you didn't feel any kind of anxiety at all about anything?
Not even a little bit. Just because what it was we were able to isolate completely. And it's like I've been preparing my bubble to just be by the pool. Not to be away from COVID, but I made my business model vacation proof, meaning I'm always on vacation no matter what. I like to make residual income. And I've always been sort of in my own bubble. So our house is our bubble regardless. And it was just a time for us to just be with each other. So life has been yoga, working out. It's been watching movies. It's been, her cooking. It's been her really us laughing, enjoying. Because when you can't go out, you don't think you're missing nothing.
Right.
So it was like accepting the situation. We walk the dogs every day. If not, there's an issue. We've been able. She wrote a book. You know what I mean? And I've been able to do what I've been. Because the thing is, I've been like, we can get money from the house. Remember I was doing the Poppington Universities from what's considered like a Zoom a year or two ago.
Right.
So I was always like, so what was now happening is everyone had to kind of conform to my business model of staying in the house. So I was able to connect with a lot of people. Like I said, I got with this OSG network, that 90 Principles. I got with the Yah Squad, Billy Carson. You got to get all of your stuff going. I got to edit, all my episodes. I got to actually downsize and do what I really needed to do. Like, my thing was to be productive, to come out stronger, to be a general, to have answers. Like, this was a war.
Absolutely.
So I'm relaxed in the war. I'm actually feeling anxiety when we're not in a war because no one else feels the urgency.
Right.
If you hear the music I made a year ago, Time for a Revolution, Why Cry? I didn't know a revolution was coming, but I knew it should be coming. I knew it was time.
Right. And we didn't even mention that part of it because that we're in the midst of a social uprising as well. And I feel like what you've done at home with the family it's something that I've encouraged others to do. Is during this time when we're, you know, in the house and we're, you know, doing the social separation and all this stuff, like there's things that you can work on at home, like getting tighter with your family, you know, getting tighter with your kids and things like that. And it seems to me, from my perspective, that since you've been doing that and you kind of went through this trauma and you guys got through it together, you know, you've been having your kids, you know, I've been seeing Abra around, I've been seeing, you know, all the kids around.
Here was my thing, right? You know, Ava is younger than me, and I feel like families go through things, and instead of having collateral damage, you give them space.
Absolutely.
But I didn't want her to miss this pregnancy, and as a father, and as a man that's been working to build a company that he can pass to his children, it was what I've always prepared for. I was able to give her a summer job.
Right.
You know?
And I think,
and before the summer job, she came over and hung out with me.
You guys, let's cut for a second.
Yeah, we gotta cut for a second.
So now I'm gonna start taking it from
All the cameras?
Yeah, can you cut mine?
The episodes.
because basically the point that I was getting to was you took care of home, right? And it made you stronger enough to face these social issues
Right,
outside of the home. Yeah.
But the social issues outside of the home have been my issue from day one.
Yeah.
Well, because I see focus right
Right, because now
everything's in order.
yes, and now I'm prepared.
Yeah.
I've been preparing for the war.
Yeah.
I've been preparing for the war. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now I'm prepared.
And that's exactly, and I think that's the example that I want to show. Like you took care of home, you took care of what's important, you know, prioritize what you needed to.
Well, now you got to vision it like this, right? So now we're doing the episodes are, this episode is going to go through each thing like a TV show.
Yeah.
So I was going to go through what we should do first. Let's go through what the beginning of COVID looked like for you, you know, and then we'll get into the kids stuff. That's the order. We'll talk about going to Wyoming. We'll talk about,
And this is all in on these episodes.
well, yeah, well, it depends on, you know, what they get out of all of this. You know what I'm saying? Based on what we got.
Right.
So this is, to me, a way of approach that has never been done. So instead of having it where you're breaking away from a professional, the professional is really the therapist. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just starting. I know.
Yeah, the last thing you guys were talking about was like how you're already comfortable in your house. It's your
But
bubble.
now I'm gonna get into stringing out the episodes.
Okay.
How far back did it fill up? Did you get in there?
And then after I tell you, then you can tell me what's been happening based on that. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be able to sum up the situation. You know? Just, I'll show you this. And they can let them get a joint and a drink. I'll be real straight.
Yeah.
Or even close it down. All good. Something good.
Oh, Nicolette, is there any water over there? Why not?
We are.
My mouth is already set. Smoking in the traffic.
How much time is it now? Yeah. Oh.
You sit up.
Then, and then also we got
Yeah, you were talking about everything you do at your house, walking the dog, watching movies. All okay.
We're gonna roll again?
Yep, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Stop speed.
Camera speeds.
Speed.
So,
This is scene 2, take 2.
All the way.
Go in,
There you go.
mark, and right there, right? Correct.
so the crazy thing is when I first heard that this COVID thing was hitting and how it was spreading, because I'm diabetic, I already quarantined about 2 weeks before everyone else. I already saw that coming. I don't wait for the government to tell me what to do. And, you know, right before the end of the world, I had put lawsuits on E1 and on the Weed channel. But I wasn't thinking about that no more, you know? And automatically, I told my staff that whoever doesn't live with me now, I'm not seeing you until this is over. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not seeing you till this is over. And, you know, Nicolette is like, I don't know, she's become like, I don't know, like the ride or die. She was with us for the whole situation with Raquel. And so she's already been with us in Hawaii. So she was already staying with us. And she decided to stay. And it was just me, Raquel, and Nicolette for the first like month. We didn't want to see nobody, not even the cleaning lady.
Right.
And because I didn't know what was going on. And you know, it was crazy because I never realized that Nicolette was so scared of spiders. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. Like Raquel, first of all, immediately just started cooking ridiculous. Every day the meals was just, that was the great part of the day was the meals, 3 meals a day. Because we weren't in a rush to go anywhere. And you know, at the kitchen, we would hear Nicolette's stories of you know, her antics during the night when we go to bed. And it would always entail her being scared of a spider that's been haunting her in her bath. You know? So then we decided, you know, because we were drinking every night, and I'm always working out. But Nicolette started to come down and work out with us, with me, while I hit the bag. You know, she had a little situation. We were there, and you know, her knuckle game wasn't proper, and we couldn't have that. You know,
Got her up to speed.
so we had to get her up to speed. And now, and then like Rocky started to come down and train her, and now she's like a fit mom. You know what I mean? It's like crazy. So she'll do the boxing and the Rocky stuff, a little yoga, you know. But I've also been pushing her to make sure she's productive as I am. I do this thing where unless you can fight for your dreams, you can't fight for mine. So before the end of the world, we had also shot and made her album, and I'm like, yo, you got to get your shit together. You know what I mean? About a month into it, 2 young ladies started to stay with us that we knew from before, because they had been quarantining, Hope and her friend. And, you know, that was interesting. I wanted to keep them busy, because when young girls are around, I ain't going to just be partying with them. Their experience with me has to be productive. So I made sure they did yoga, paint, take pictures, do all that. You know, they could come for a week, leave for a week, come back for a week. And then, you know, it was funny because, you know, some stuff happened with Nicolette, but I'll let her tell you. But that was all good as well, you know? And then I was missing my daughter. You know, I was worried about her. And I was like, now it's time to squash her. So I hit her. I told her I love her. She came around, brought Tallulah. It was funny because she got mad drunk. She turned into Champagne Dame. And it was funny because I talked to you before I seen her.
Yeah.
And
I remember I came to take, she was here.
Right, but I talked to you before I seen it, and I was like, how should I deal with it if, like, the things that are bothering me, should I deal with them the first time I see her? And you were like, you know, it might be, just wait, you know, so I just enjoyed the moment, and we gradually dealt with the things. And she came over for Father's Day, and I was able to express, you know, to my younger daughter that I was bothered that I haven't been appreciated. Like, I just give, and no one ever gives back, no one listens to my problems. It's just about daddy giving. No one gives me my gifts. And on Father's Day, my daughter Tallulah made me this shirt and made me a bucket hat. You know, Ava came around, and you know, it was fun. And I could see everything I taught her. I could see myself in her.
Right.
You know, it's crazy that it's like, damn, I taught her, and she can use what I taught her against me.
Right.
And she does. It's crazy, you know, when you teach somebody something and they use it against you. It's nuts. I can see it.
I think it's important, though, that you're getting out your perspective as far as where things are with the family right now, especially with Ava, because that relationship was a little more public than some of your
It was
other.
being manipulated
Right. So the
by
last
the
thing,
We channel.
the last thing people saw
Yeah.
was something that was edited, you know, and didn't show the whole story. So sitting here now from this perspective of where you guys are at in your relationship, is there anything that's been unsaid or
Yeah.
anything?
Well, this. So again, I've worked my whole life and talked about having ownership so I could pass it to my children. So my children don't have to work for anybody unless they feel like it. So my daughter goes to college. That makes her mother happy. She models. I made sure that, got her with the president of Elite, and they look out for her very well. And she's also making my dreams come true. I offered her a job and she took it. So she's been coming to work, and that's been my dream. She made my dream come true by coming to work. And it's hard to teach your daughter. She came through, and my method isn't normal. It's more relaxation. You see, my office looks like a club. And I just like the fact that, she got to hook up my Zooms, and she got to see me talk to principals and respect that, and she got to see me talk to bishops. She's got to really see everything, what I really do. Senators, congressmen, Kanye, all of them. She saw it all.
Now speaking, you're going now we're kind of going into the social side of things.
Well, before that, it was funny because she was supposed to come in on Monday or a certain day, and she didn't come in because she had a model. And this day I'm speaking to Kanye, and I'm talking about buying a ranch. And he's like, yo, come out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you sending a jet? So he sends a jet. And at the time, Jessica was staying with us, and her knee is all fucked up. And, Nicolette, myself, and Raquel go out there. So we go look at our ranch. I go handle my business with Kanye, but it was fun for us to have a trip, to see how my brother, how successful he was. I actually learned something from him a lot. And it's crazy when you're the teacher and your student starts to teach you, you did your job. I was so proud of him, the things he was doing. It was just like me remembering before and saying this was the dream, and this was bigger than what I dreamed for him and myself. It was like really, and the fact that he was still so appreciative of me, so loyal, made sure when I walk in the room, everybody knows the part I played. Because some people don't recognize that. And he always recognizes that. He doesn't have to. And I know that even talking to you, that I know I pull his triggers. But he still loves me. But sometimes my company is not healthy for him because I'm aggressive and I can help. And it made me recognize that other people may pull my triggers and that I have to be able to have boundaries. You know what I'm saying? But before that, I went out there, we had a ball, and, it was fun. Found the ranch we might buy, but, that's another story.
I think you found out something very important, especially dealing with family, is that, you can still have your differences, and still be able to either work things out or just give each other space, and it doesn't infringe on the love that you have for somebody. It's just, we just on two different wavelengths right now, we'll get back. I think that's a great example to show people that might be going through some family turmoil or something similar.
Well, through therapy,
yeah,
I've been able to recognize my boundaries and my triggers. And I've been able to respect other people's boundaries and triggers. But what I don't respect is when someone doesn't respect my boundaries and triggers. And you saw how that happened with my OG. You know what I'm saying? And, it was just a situation where he's still sometimes too aggressive, and it makes me aggressive. And, I love him to death. But, I don't want him to not be himself.
What y'all told each other when y'all separated, even though it was in the midst of, of some argument and stuff, but y'all did make sure to tell each other that. You know what I mean?
Love
I noticed that. Yeah.
I'll tell sometimes it happens. It happens to my friends and my family all the time.
Right.
But now I get a therapist if there's any issues.
Yeah. Looking back on that issue, have you, thought about anything or learned anything from the situation that you
Yeah, I'm telling you, it taught me a lot.
I mean, as far as from that might help y'all in the future, like with each other. Is it the same narrative? Like, okay, you know what?
I think it's just space. I think he has to understand I can't deal with the overreaction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be yelled at like your enemy when I'm trying to help.
Right.
But, that's my environment.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
cool. I mean, speaking on home life, if you could use a couple of words, how would you describe it right now? How you feeling and where it's at? How would you describe it?
home life is heavenly right now. Everything I want right now I'm getting. From organization to the way the family is running, the household, we're all happy. Our problems are minute. You know, I'm like kicking it with my daughters, both my daughters. I mean, I'm still waiting for Boogie to come around, but you know what was cool was one of Ava's days of work was going to the gun range because during this I've been able to get a license to get a gun. I have a legal gun. Rocky got a gun. Nicolette got a gun. We got guns, legal. And we went to go test them shits out. And Ava came. I wanted to make sure she knows how to use a gun because then she's 21. Make sure she got one and know how to use it. And Boogie was like, called her and said he'd come to the gun range. So I'm like, let's go tomorrow. You know what I mean? But also what was dope was like her friend came over, Sophia, and they made a commercial when she was pretending she was me for One Drop.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, that was dope. Again, it was just like my dream, how cool she thinks I am or knows I am. And it was a job. It actually is used as a commercial.
Right.
So all my dreams are coming true, and it's crazy that during COVID it's happening. But sometimes to take a block or to get a block to click correctly or to make money, you gotta clear the block out.
Yeah. Again, I think
Sometimes there's war, there's always war before peace when you need change.
Yeah, I think it's a great example, you know, that your family life is actually thriving in the midst of all of this. And again, I think the greatest thing about that example is that you were able to prioritize your foundation, your roots, home life, get that all together where you want it. And I mean, from this side, it looks like it's empowered you to even do more on the social side of things, with the uprisings and, you know, meeting with the principals, meeting with the senators, because, you know, your foundation is strong right now.
I think with that crew around me, I'm invincible.
Yeah.
You know, and I think everyone should have a circle of people that you respect, that when you have an issue, you can talk to them and get research.
Right.
You know, that if you have a friend that says he wants to do something that's beyond anyone else's dreams, that you could get a circle of people that can tell you the probability of it.
Yeah.
And it can't get no better than that.
Yeah.
You know, like the senator will call me and somebody may have done some bullshit, and I call the bishop, I call you, I get a therapist, I get people that know history, I know people that know education, and we just talk about what to not complain. What are we doing tomorrow?
Right.
You know, there's no reason to complain if you can fix shit.
Right. And I see you daily dedicated to that. Like,
Because I'm learning so much.
daily.
I'm learning so much. I'm like learning the problems, how to help, and also seeing people that take your words and make action out of them. You know, when I'm talking and people say I'm this, that, and the third, but don't do shit, and they're in the same exact place they were, it's like I wasted my time. Don't tell me thank you for talking. Show me thank you.
Right.
And there's things that I ask them to do, they do it the next day. I've asked the same people to do it, and it takes them 5 years, and they still haven't done it and have excuses for it. It's just respect. And disrespect has always been my trigger. You know? It makes me disrespect back. But people sometimes don't understand what disrespect to me because they never been me. They've never been the person to give. They've never been the person to pay for everything and somebody still talk bad about you. Or to give them something and not be given nothing. You know why you never felt that? You never gave nobody shit. But I'm not gonna ever, that's my test to see if I'm gonna stop giving, I'm gonna always give. Because it feels good to love. It feels good to help people. It feels good to see people make themselves better.
Right.
And the stronger they get, the stronger you get.
Right.
The cooler I look. The cooler the people around me look, the cooler I look.
Right. I think it's a lot to be said for it. Just understanding that not everybody's gonna be like you. And that's, you know,
I'm a
especially
superhero in my mind.
when you help people though, you know, like that's the one thing I've learned, you know, when I help people for, like you said, for the simple fact of helping people, it's not always gonna come back from them anyway. It might come back from the universe, might come back from karma, whatever you believe in, but
This is what I know. For some people, this has been terrible. For people that were not prepared, people that don't like their house,
right.
people that have to worry about somebody giving them money, that don't have their own businesses, this has been terrible for you. But for me, this shit has been like all my dreams come true. My numbers are up. I do streaming, content. My family's together. I'm by the pool every day. I'm talking to the people I want to talk to. And not only am I talking to them, we're affecting the world. Like you see how I'm talking about education? I'm talking to principals every day not about even education in the next year, about problems that are existing now, about the fact that kids ain't gonna be able to go to school.
Right.
They gotta do it from home and that shit ain't working.
I remember being in on some of those, talking about.
That's the OSG network's main focus. That's all Dennis is talking about. Yo, y'all keep saying this shit don't work, so why y'all don't fix it?
Right.
Because it's gonna have to be an issue for the rest of the time. You gotta figure out how to educate people from their house.
Right.
You know?
I mean,
Period.
it just seems like you're in the thick of things. I mean, in the midst of all that, one of your best friends, you know, decides he wants to run for president. And I heard you say something about it earlier. You know, you brought it up for a second. You know, but I mean, how's that? Like,
I
you're
think
really in the midst of this.
Yeah,
thing going on.
I think watching someone go from being a Trump fan to not being a Trump fan is very interesting and very reflective of the way the world is looking at things. You know, if someone's inspired to say, yo, this nigga fucks shit up so bad, and I used to support him that I need to run for president, I just think he's a guy that feels like a superhero, and he may have felt a little bit of guilt for saying that shit, and he was like, this might be the only way I can fix it. But at the end of the day, I read in Forbes, I'm taking off the hat. That's what I read. He said, I'm taking off the hat. And to me, that was what was important. Everything else is bubblegum shit. He said he's taking off that hat. And that's what we needed to hear. That was his apology. Plus that $2 million he dropped for George Floyd that nobody else dropped. And making sure his kids go to college and all that. That was his apology for him maybe having an irrational moment. But I think he's done what he's needed to do. And all his deals revolve factories in America. So I see a dude that's doing things when he sees something wrong. And if he makes a mistake in the moment or miswords it, who gives a fuck? Because whoever's judging it, let me see what you're doing. Whoever's talking about it, get on the front line and do something. Not yell or break a window. Actually employ somebody. Actually have a plan for education and implement it. If you're mad about the police, then give me a plan on how to stop the police so we can get a law passed. Because we'll do that. But all this complaining shit ain't what I'm about. I'm about that action, and he's about that action, and that's all I see. All I see is everyone around him getting rich, just like everyone around me gets rich. So he's paying it forward. I like the fact that not only is he a billionaire, so is his wife. I like that. That's what I like to focus on, the shit that's the good shit. But he did say, I'm taking that hat off. And being there, it's good to see.
And I think that, you know, we owe it to him to, you know, before you come to your, you know, preconceived conclusions and things like that.
I don't care, really. I
think we owe it to him to hear his side of the issue.
He don't have to say a word, bro. He don't owe shit to me. All he got to do is have that action. Look at how many people he's employing in America. When George Floyd's family really needed that real help, not people to talk for him, they needed that bank. He dropped that bank. Why you got to speak? That's the problem with us. We be worried about what people think that ain't doing shit. I ain't worried about that shit. I ain't worried about what people think unless they doing something.
Right.
It don't matter what you think. You should be thinking, what am I doing to help this problem? That's what anyone should be thinking. But they shouldn't be thinking about Kanye in this moment. They should be thinking about themselves. They should be thinking about their families. If you thinking about Kanye and you ain't thinking about how to get no money, then you thinking about the wrong nigga. You should be thinking about yourself. They shouldn't be worried about his opinions. He's a rapper. It don't matter. It don't matter.
Rapper that's running for president.
Is he? Did he run?
Well, he said he had an intention to.
Did he? That's all. Talk doesn't mean nothing to me. All I heard was he taking off that hat. That's all that should matter, man. That's all that hurt. So he said it hurt us when he had the hat on. He took it off. Let's celebrate that. Period. And that should be. If we celebrate anything else, we need therapy. So we was all mad about that. Everybody was like, "Yo, when he gonna say something bad about Trump?" He just did. Right. Then let's celebrate that.
Right. I'm glad to hear you clarify that. That's big.
Yeah.
You know,
he said it in the Forbes.
Right. Do you find that, you know, you talking to him and talking? I'm sure you guys talk about this.
Yeah, I can't talk about this at all.
Yeah. No, I mean from your perspective.
Just know, he got people around him that care. He knows that, and I think that means work.
Right.
As long as he knows he got people around him that care.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's got to be inspiring with your social movement, though, like what you're doing.
Yeah.
That people around you are also
Winning.
kind of taking that accountability as well.
Yeah.
To do something.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
My crew right now is about that action. My crew right now is about that action. And I'm documenting it eloquently. That's why I ain't got the little me doing. Nah, this shit is important. It's that time. We've been practicing for this moment. So if in this moment we don't show up, I ain't shit. Everything I said is bullshit. Every record I made is bullshit. If I say it's time for a revolution, the revolution happens, I ain't doing nothing, then don't listen to me no more.
Right.
You know? If I'm crying when somebody died, like how when I lost, I cried, but I was still stood strong.
Yeah.
If I was weak and I couldn't get over it, then don't listen to me no more. But as long as I lead by example, I will never send somebody to do something I'm not doing myself. Period.
Right.
Everything I've been telling y'all to do, I've been doing.
Right.
And now we showing it live in color, and it's getting contagious. Other people are learning how to tell their stories.
Right.
See, I'm generous with the plug. I pass the plug to those that deserve it. And I'm no longer ever helping anyone that doesn't help nobody else. Which is why come here, Nicolette. This is the reason why she gotta, because every day, all day I've been saying Nicolette, 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 right? And every day, and she shows up. So her dreams must come true. So can you mic up Nicolette and let her talk to him about her dreams coming true and what she's been doing? That was good, y'all. I'm good.
Let's cut for now.
Yeah.
Cut. Let's mic up Nicolette.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dame, are you
That's good,
going to be
guys.
hopping back on, or?
Yeah, I will, but I'm just trying to get her in there.
Okay.
All I did was
So I can keep
narrate
this on?
all the footage.
Are you going back on?
That was all
Yeah, I
the
think
footage.
so.
So you can stop. We can go into the scene. Break it right back.
So we want to have a conversation with her.
That's what I did.
Okay.
So this is the OSG right here.
No.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
we
yeah.
got to take Dame's off.
Yeah. Like I said, y'all gotta stay for the whole thing, but I was just showing y'all, so what's
You know
gonna
what we
happen
can
is
do?
all
Hold
my
on.
footage from all my footage from everything I've been taping, I'm gonna just interact it. It's gonna come back and forth, and you're gonna have a conversation, and you're gonna see those things, and then they'll even go into those scenes. You know what I mean?
Nicola, can I get some water?
I'm actually on another call right now.
Yeah.
We'll get another mic from the car.
14.8.
Of course. Now you're about that action. That's the announcement that you're in the business. That's the announcement. Let's go. So yeah, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. You're the only one doing something. Dr. Action. I know I missed that meeting today. I slept through it. But the Senator Impossible and Dennis would like to get on the phone with y'all to explain this to the school thing for $1, and what we need to do to get it. So can we do it tomorrow?
Where's my camera? George, just move it way away from the door. Like way away from the door.
Yeah, they just want to tell us. He just wants to tell us exactly what we need to do to get it. I think it's a couple moving parts.
And if they can't get on,
Okay.
get on.
All right. So we'll send the time. So again, I was just showing y'all. Y'all don't have to stay on for the whole thing, and I just like as I'm shooting, I'm just showing y'all. But your set looked a lot like mine. You understand what I mean? That's why I was impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's moving the same way. So, just the only difference is maybe the cameras and the experience of the people behind there. But
Yeah.
but you got the motion. You know what I mean? You got the motion. And then Dr. Malik, this is all you really need to shoot. You don't even need 3 cameras. You got 2, you good. Sound and lights. And this is the way it should go. Same way. This could be a script. That's like a scripted scene. It's just I'm freestyling.
So as we get closer to that, we'll start talking more in detail in terms of the things that we'll need to actually shoot. We're using all non-union actors. So
Thank God.
About 125 a day.
That's fair.
We're going with non-union actors, because we're just getting started.
So basically, if I brought them in, these guys right here, and we shot, let's say, because it would take for an episode 3 days, I could probably get it done for 2 racks, and we have the best shit, best cameras, and everything. Only thing is I have to fly them out with me, but that's what I'm saying. This is a crew that I would let you use, if you wanted to. But I could put a crew like this together for you. It wouldn't cost. It'll never cost. It will never cost $500 a day. It will never cost $500 a day. This is easily a $3,000 to $4,000 a day shoot on the low end, just because they brought the lights and the cameras, the rentals, and all the people. It's like, this is ridiculous.
As we get closer to that, we'll hammer out the details, and I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun with that.
Now, all I'm doing is showing you what a set looks like and how it feels, and just real time. So it's like practice. Like sometimes I would walk on the dude, I forgot his name.
Burger?
Huh?
Burger?
Oh yeah, the dude that was shooting when he was prepping Spider-Man. I just look and see what they was doing, just to see what it was like. You know what I mean? See what it was like. But anyway, yeah. So y'all can stay on, but we taking a break. But y'all don't have to stay.
All right.
That's all good.
I'm gonna jump back into the meeting. Like I said, we're meeting with the music production team right now.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, if you don't, yeah.
Made him Alec.
Yeah.
Bye, God.
So if y'all want to stay, y'all can stay, but it's optional. I was just.
I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it on. I'm gonna leave it up because I'll just keep coming back and forth.
All right, cool. All right.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do the same thing then.
All right,
Yeah,
bet.
leave it. I'm gonna leave it up.
I'm gonna just mute it out.
So we can put the air conditioner back on.
Coming back.
All right, plug in here.
There's my wallet.
Huh?
Is my wallet back?
Did I give you a wallet back? It's in that with the key on it. It's in the drawer. But can you pass me my phone? You can stop going live for a while. Oh, I didn't know I was still on there. Oh, that's it.